It's safe to say our minds have collided. We're running circles with time.
Try like say like, hey.
Is it safe to say that we feel so united? We're out of searching for love and we hope you provide it. Safe to say, safe to say. Is it safe to stay, safe to stay? Stay safe to say, safe to say. Save the day. Oh, safe to say, safe to say. Is it safe
Welcome back, everybody, to our crib, Uncut. You already know what it is, unfiltered entertainment and insights from the industry's hottest emerging artists behind and off the screen. So today, I'm joined with the lovely Brittany J. Miller. You might recognize her from a previous episode, and she helped us host before. I'm really excited.
Back again.
Back again. All right. And it won't be the last time. It won't be the last time. Brittany is an actor. She's a media personality. And she's also an amazing storyteller and a bit of a dancer too. You all better check her out. And I'm also joined by another artist here. And the key to any artist journey is to tap into your creativity and let it flow through your music.
Yes. So here we have KATRINA Anastasia. She is a Toronto artist that lets her creativity go unfiltered and truly marches to the beat of her own drum. So everyone, welcome KATRINA. She's going to be performing for us her first song called Flow.
Let's go.
Time's been passing by, I savor every second. My oh my, moving like a rock star on my grind. So much I've been tired to just let me fly and get caught up in the flow, the flow, oh, the flow, oh, ooh, flow, oh, the flow, oh, ooh, flow, oh. I've been moving in the night, the fantasy my eyes, the stars are all alive. Losing all control, I'm getting caught up in the flow. And I just gotta let you know that I've been feeling a vibe. I'm lost in the light, look back at my life, I don't see the red lights anymore. I'm keeping it tight, my energy's high. The time is ticking slow, and I'm caught up in the flow, oh, the flow, oh, ooh, flow, oh, the flow, oh, ooh, the flow, oh, flow. In my mind, I paint a picture, I'm creating my own fate. It's inside of me, the energy will never go away. Now it's clear to see my enemy was only in my brain. If I'm honest, I think I got this. So caught up in the flow, oh, the flow, oh, ooh, flow, oh, the flow, oh, ooh, flow, oh. Been so caught up in the flow.
Yes.
I was mesmerized.
Oh, so good.
I was caught up in the flow.
I was caught up in the flow. Like
Yes.
literally, I was like,
That was beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
so good.
I love that you play guitar.
Thank you.
And I'd love for folks at home to know more about you, because we know a little bit about you, but
Yes.
for everyone at home, I'm gonna read a little bio about KATRINA. So KATRINA Anastasia is a 23-year-old multi-talented artist and entrepreneur from Toronto. And her music is mesmerizing. It's a blend of alternative, new wave, R&B, dream pop, and more. It's really a blend, a fusion that's, you know, mesmerizing, y'all. And KATRINA's also the driving force behind a lot of creative hubs right here in Toronto. And she combines her love for music, fashion, and sustainability. So we want to hear more about that today.
Yes.
So get ready for an intimate conversation with the one and only KATRINA Anastasia.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for that performance.
Of course.
First things first, could you tell us about that song? Like, tell us
Yeah.
what it means to you, how you wrote it.
Yeah, for sure. So that song is a collaboration with an EDM artist named Distant Matter. So we worked on another song together as well called Hummingbird. We had some mutuals, but we had never connected. So then I did a session at his house. We did a writing session. We came up with that song, Hummingbird, and then we did another writing session. There was a few different people there, and we wrote Flow. And it was actually initially written to a different instrumental, a different beat. And then over the year that he had it, he kind of reworked it, remixed it, and then made it an EDM song. So what I played is like an acoustic version, but it's usually like if you go listen on streaming platforms, it's EDM. It's like a dance track. So.
Okay, nice. So I could like hear it in the club and like really bop to it.
Yeah, it's about just moving through life so quickly sometimes that you forget what's really going on and you forget to just sit in it and enjoy the moment. So it's about sometimes you just have to flow, and maybe you don't know what the answer is, you don't know where you're going, but as long as you move forward with good intention, you'll end up in the right place.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Such a great message
agree.
too.
Honestly, I love knowing the backstory behind music.
Yeah, me
so
too.
thank you so much for sharing that for us. And you've been releasing music now for about 2 years.
Yeah.
Only 2 years, but you are quite young. So how would you describe where you're at right now in your music journey?
I would say right now, I mean, even over the past year, I've grown so much, even just with live performance. When I was growing up, I did a lot of musical theater and stuff in school, which was cool when I was on the stage and all these types of things, but it taught me how to be like very, almost like perfect with my voice, rather than learning how to play around with it and learn how to sing in different ways and in falsetto and all these different things. So I would say right now, I'm developing my sound. When it comes to music, I think a lot of people focus on the genres, where it's like, I want to develop my sound so that I can hit any genre, and people are like, that's Kat, and she's killing it, So I would say I'm in a point now where actually I want to start diving into production. So I put out a project called It's Cool to Care, which is like fully acoustic. I wrote everything on it using the guitar. But now I want to dive into fully producing. So being able to add drums in, bass, keys, like all those things to build. So that's something that I'm going to start working on now that I have a little bit more time, and really put my attention there to kind of just explore. I've been like saving songs into a playlist of songs that I like, and it ranges anywhere from like slow R&B to EDM. Like I want to have the free range to do anything, really, is the plan.
I love that.
Yeah.
I feel like you're saying that you want to kind of be more involved. So I'm curious about like what your creative process is and how do you deal with certain blockages that come with that, because as many of us watchers know, and on the couch here, like we are creatives, and sometimes we have blockages ultimately based on not just going with the flow of things. So like, what is your process in all of it ultimately?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I always found that when I try to sit down and write a song, I'm putting so much pressure on myself for it to be perfect or for it to be what I'm looking for, that I actually usually can't get as much out than if I just start freestyling. So usually before I started playing the guitar, I would just go on YouTube, find a beat that I like, put it on, and then put my phone on record and just start freestyling. And I would try to change up the melody maybe every 8 bars. I would try as many melodies as I could. So now I do that with the guitar. So I'll just play four chords over and over and over, and I'll just start recording, and I'll just start freestyling melodies, and usually lyrics will come out. And then that's usually how I end up writing the song. I'll listen back to like, it could be an 8-minute recording, and I'll be like, I like this part, this part, this part, I'm gonna move it, and then I start building the structure, and then I'll build out the whole song. So, and usually when I'm in a funk, like when I'm not feeling good or someone's bothering me, and sometimes, when you don't feel good and you don't really even know why, you're just like, why don't I feel good right now, I'll usually pick up the guitar and I'll just start singing, and usually I end up saying what I needed to hear. So
That's beautiful.
That's my process.
I love
Those
that.
are some big gems right now being dropped for anyone who are having challenges with hitting those creative peaks. I really loved what you said. That's definitely how I create music as well, is go to YouTube, throw on a beat, just keep trying my same lyrics, like in different ways, different voices, different tones, etc. And last week, actually, we had some folks on that we did the same thing. They gave us some beats and we all like made a track. So maybe next time, I'm just saying, we bring all the girls back and we do our jam session.
Oh, nice. That'd be such a vibe.
Actually,
I love that.
I do remember, and I'm so glad now that we get to like be acquainted on this couch, because I really actually wanted to go to your songwriting camp that you had, the workshop. And that's really where the next question's going. It's all about the way that you have now taken your art into the business realm. You're showing artists how to do their creative process, but also how to basically make money, you know, doing their art, and how to find different mediums, different ways to be able to get their art out there. So I'd love to know, how did you get started doing that? Because you're only 23 and you decided to be a singer and also the leader of all of these creative hubs and initiatives.
So when it comes to songwriting, I mean, you know, at Objects, they're wanting to do programs and all these things, and you know, he was like, you should run a program. I was like, what would I run a program on? And he's like, I don't know, songwriting. I was like, okay, cool. So I did it, and I remember, you know, people would come and go and, you know, different things like that. But in the end of the day, when it comes to songwriting, I realized that a lot of people will come to me and they're like, Kat, I have this song, you know, I just can't finish it. I've been sitting on it for months. I just can't finish it. I don't know what to do. And then I'm like, all you need to know is just the basics of songwriting. It's just like writing an essay. When you know the basics of like beginning, middle, end, thesis, whatever. I was never good at English, so I don't know how to write a proper essay really, but I know how to write a good song. But yeah, so what I do is I'll just teach them like the basics. So structure, rhyming, different things like that. And then I say, like, once you know all the fundamentals, then you can piece it together however you want. And I have a song out that has no structure at all. It's just, it's called I For One, and it's about the environment and all these things. And there is no structure, there's no chorus. It's just one whole song, but instead of using structure, I change the cadence. So when I go really fast at some point, and then I'll slow it down. And like that's how I made it work. But people who know me know I'm always very like innovative. I love like coming up with different ways to, you know, make a living or have fun or help other people. So yeah, I think that was the main thing, and you know, people having the faith in me, believing in me that I can do it. And I think that's always what I want to keep, you know, paying it forward, is letting people know that I believe in them, that they can do it too. You know, so.
And how did you like come across, you know, to even be acquainted with like an organization like Objects? And then now you've started your own initiative, It's Cool to Care. And I'd love to hear more about that if, you know, we could get a zoom in on that, because it is cool to care. So yeah, I'd love to know, how did you become acquainted with Objects? And now we know, you know, the story. Shout out to them for, you know, inspiring you to start your workshops. But how did you even get there?
Yeah, so it was so crazy. A friend of mine, his name is his artist name is Five Alive, and he did this fashion show and I missed it, and I was like, oh, I really want to model in this fashion show. So when I heard he was doing another one, for some reason there's something in the back of my head that was like, you got to model for this fashion show. So I kept messaging him. I'm like, I'm going to model for you, like, we're going to do it. He's like, yeah, cool, sounds good. And then he chose me as a model, and then I showed up to Objects. There was an event there getting put on by Boombox, and they're getting put on by Beat Cave, and they did these events called Boombox, which were awesome. They're super interactive, really cool. And I showed up and I literally was like, what is this place? Like, this is crazy. And then yeah, I did the fashion show, and then they had an open mic at the end, and I'm huge on any opportunity that I see that feels right to me. I will take it. I won't hesitate, because I think in life when you hesitate about things, you can miss that chance. So I went up on the mic, I did my thing, and then someone else wanted to hop on the mic, so I kind of like awkwardly got off the mic, and then I went outside, I met the owner, and then we had a lot of things in common, and then they hired me on as a social media host. So I started that, and then as things evolved and people came and went, I don't know the proper English for that, but anyways, I kept like stepping up and taking on people's roles, and then I eventually got to where I was, and you know, being able to do the open mics and being able to do events and learning so much, and so I'm forever grateful for that. But yeah, the It's Cool to Care thing actually came from, so during COVID, I picked up the guitar. My mom bought me that guitar, I think, for my 16th birthday. I played it a bit, didn't touch it for years, and then eventually during COVID, I picked up the guitar again. I was like, I'm gonna try this. It was so hard at first, and then I eventually did it. And then, yeah, I started writing, and then I went to a session with a friend of mine named Davey. He goes by Pen Psyche. And I brought my guitar. I don't know why I brought my guitar. I've never written a song on the guitar. And then I brought my guitar. I came up with the chord progression for the first song on my EP called It's Cool to Care, titled Free My Mind. And yeah, from there I was like, oh wow, I can write on the guitar. And then I kept going, and then I ended up just forming this 6-song EP, and I wasn't sure if I was going to call it It's Cool to Care or if I was going to call it Make the Change When You Have the Chance. And I put it on my Instagram story. I'm like, what's better, guys? And everyone chose It's Cool to Care, and so then I went with that because it was shorter. It was short and sweet, and I went with that. And then from there, people are like, I love this. And then I was like, why don't I make some merch? And so I went thrifting. I picked out a bunch of pieces that like the colors resonated with me, and I took it to a place I know called Artivits. They do embroidery. And so every piece that says It's Cool to Care on it is a different piece of clothing. I made some pants, I made some shirts. Wow. I kept a lot of the merch because I loved it so much. So I have like 3 or 4 pieces of it out of like the 6 I made. And yeah, that's kind of where that came from. So I've kind of just been riding on that because in the end of the day, pop culture and everything, everyone's just doing what's cool, what's trendy. And I think that if we make it cool to care, then I just think the world would be a better place and people would actually pay more attention to what's going on. So
yeah. And I remember I learned that before you told me you were a Libra, but now I really get it, honestly. Our birthdays are 1 day apart. I just have to say
that makes so much sense. We're literally talking about
the world would be a better place. Just care more, people.
Yeah, Libra women was the point that we made, though.
Not the men. Okay.
Speaking of women, this is an all-women episode.
Yes, it is.
Is there anything in particular as a woman in this industry, especially killing it in this industry? It is an industry that we all know can be very dominated by men. So what are some challenges or struggles or things that you've learned through your experience being a woman in this industry and just navigating that space?
Yeah, I think, I mean, I've been very fortunate that I also think I've always been the type of person that I walk into a room with my head held high, and I think body language is huge in terms of how people talk to you, how people treat you, how people respect you. So I've been really fortunate not to have to deal with too many like slimy people in the industry, although I know that they're everywhere. But I think the biggest thing that I've learned is that, you know, if you know who you are and what you want to represent, don't let other people tell you what they like. If there's someone that you respect as an artist and you know that they like your artistry and they like who you are, then yes, listen to their advice. But there's a lot of people that would try to come up to me, oh, you know, maybe you should just like, you know, wear a skirt that's like a little shorter, or like, you know, maybe, you know, they would try to sexualize it too much, and I'm just like, or like maybe you'd get better numbers if like you made it a little, you know, and I'm just like, that's not what I'm trying to do here. And so I think the main lesson is just know exactly you know, what your direction is before you start getting involved with other people, because I think especially young women can be easily swayed. And if you don't have that strong sense of self walking in there, then that can be taken from you very easily, especially if people are offering you all these things, right? So I think knowing that, and knowing even if someone's giving you a great opportunity but it doesn't align with you, you don't have to take it. Like not every opportunity is a good one. So I think that's the main thing is going in there, knowing who you are and what you want to represent, and not letting someone else change that. Or people would be like, oh, you should like just do pop, like just do straight pop. And I'm like, but I don't want to just be a pop artist, you know? So I think I just learned to collaborate with people, and you know, the more I executed and got projects done, the more people wanted to work with me, and then it kind of just escalated from there. I met so many amazing people and got introduced to Amazing Creative Hub, and yeah, I think that's what I'd say. I think there's like 3 pieces of advice.
No, that's some great advice. It's like truly, in this industry, I think that can apply to all artistry. Is being able to know what is authentic to you, and just staying true to that. And then you won't be persuaded by the slime dogs or whatever, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. And speaking of, you mentioned you know, the collaborations that you've had and how they've really helped you. I'd love to know how do you go about building collaborations? Just thinking about, you know, you stumbling upon objects and then getting to work there and then building your way up. Just wondering how you connect with people in the city. Like, how do you find out about events, especially for emerging artists who might be right now watching you and they're like, wow, I really want to like get to where KATRINA is. What are some first steps that you would say? Like,
well, I would say first thing, always walk into a room with a smile on your face. Like, people who are walking around like, No one is going to want to talk to you. If you're just walking in and like when you make eye contact with someone, smile, because that might be like, oh, hey, I like your shoes, and then it starts a conversation. I always do that. If I want to talk to someone, I'll compliment them, something that they're wearing. It starts a conversation. It's an easy way to start a conversation. But yeah, also just go to places that you're going to meet artists, like go to open mics. If you see that there's, a little festival at the beach or, the Jazz Fest or something, like go out and actively put yourself in environments that you're going to meet people that are doing what you want to do, and also just being more active on your social media, just going on your story, hey guys, I really want to get connected with some producers. Does anyone have any recommendations? Like anytime I put anything on my story, hey guys, does someone have responds. Like a red pencil with Hello Kitty on it? Like someone's like, yep, here, me, I do, and so the more that you engage with your audience, the more that they want to give to you. So I would recommend just doing that. Always walk in with a smile on your face. Always be positive. Have a good time, and just represent yourself in that way. And then people want to talk to you. You're now an approachable person to talk to. And then in terms of collaborations, just like be strong with putting projects out. Like don't waste someone's time if you're collaborating with them and they're investing time and energy for you for free. Put it out. Put out the project. Don't just be like it's not what I want. And like if you're too picky with someone when you're collaborating, it's like they're already volunteering their time right now. So it's like you kind of have to have that balance. And I think for me that I learned with a lot of collaborations on like music videos and stuff, it's like that it's usually they come out later than expected, because if you're not paying big money, it might come out 2 months later but I'm not going to complain about it.
Like
exactly,
this,
but I'm not going to complain about it because in the end of the day, it's that person's helping me out, right? So it's that mutual understanding and the mutual respect that like photographers need a model, models need a photographer, artists need a producer, producers need artists. So it's like in the end of the day, people want to collaborate, and luckily Toronto is such a huge city with so many artists that I just think that collaboration opportunities are actually endless, and building with people too. Like I've worked with people that are really new to production, and then just working together, they've been able to build themselves up, and just like they've built me up, I'm able to help build them up. So I think in the end of the day, collaborating, it's about both you guys building, not just for your own sake. It's everybody, and I think that's important.
The best advice I ever got, very similar to something like that, was that to work with the people beside you instead of always looking to the people above you. And I think it's really interesting because as creatives, you put certain people on pedestals and you're like, I really want to work with this prestigious director or this prestigious producer, but then you have all these artists around you that you could most definitely create with and grow together. So I think that's a really good advice for sure, is use your community.
And also too, sometimes when you're working with people above you, it's not always, but they always think they know better. And you're like, but I really, I really want the outro to be like this. No, that doesn't work. And you're like, I want the outro to be like this. This is my song. So that's what I've realized as well. When you're collaborating with people, you have a little bit more of your creative say, where sometimes when you're working with people above you, they sometimes won't let you have that creative say. So it really depends what you're looking for, I guess.
I'd love to know, because, dealing with collaborations, dealing with people who might have some authority or power over you can be challenging. We talked about this being just a male-dominated industry. Almost everything feels like it. We can
Most
say that now because, it's just us girls. But I would love to know, how do you deal with negativity? Especially, you mentioned, not being afraid to go on your social media and ask even a question like, hey, who has a red pen that has Hello Kitty or whatever? How do you deal with the backlash that might come from something like that? Or you put out a visual and people are saying all their comments, should be shorter, should be longer.
I mean, everyone is gonna have an opinion about something, and I think in the end of the day, haters are gonna hate, and if they're commenting on my post, if they're boosting up my engagement, keep commenting, baby. Keep it up. Share it with your friends. Talk stuff, do what you gotta do, because in the end of the day, it's not like I ignore it. If someone has constructive criticism, of course I'm gonna look, but if they start coming in,
this is someone with some constructive criticism. That was a great way to enter.
Perfect timing. We have our next guest.
Yes.
Hello. Welcome to our crib.
Thanks. How are you feeling? We should let the people know who you are and why, Brittany, let them know.
We'll let them know. Sorry, don't mind me. We're just getting to our notes here. Well, so Now we have here on the couch our lovely guest, expert, Shay Myers. Shay Myers is the founder of Finance for the Culture, and she is on a mission to take finance accessible to everyone. With humor and empathy, she's here to teach you the ropes and the money game. Shay's personal journey from $200 and a 476 credit score to financial success is truly inspiring. She's a licensed financial professional who's changing lives by helping people build solid financial plans. So welcome, Shay.
Thank you.
Come and teach us about money.
Yes. September is all about getting back to the basics. As you see, I wore this outfit on purpose.
Yes,
know how
back to school.
Back
we
to
wore our
school,
glasses, actually.
Right? We have Brittany,
Yes.
so it's all about
actually
bringing
need them.
Brittany, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I do
these
too.
are real.
These are my real glasses that I don't wear because, trying to be whatever. But anyways, just saying we really wanted to focus on finances as much as we want to focus on the art and, all of the amazing performances and the music. We know that it takes money to do all of this.
Yes.
Even where we're at right now, shout out to Level Up Studios and Rise for sponsoring this episode. It takes money to do this.
Yeah.
And Shay, as Brittany just said, you went from $200 and 476 on your credit score. If people know about credit scores, that's a very
Not ideal.
That's
It's
not ideal.
It's not cute, y'all.
But I admire your vulnerability, and we were just talking before you got here about sometimes you share your story, you share your vulnerabilities, and then people have things to say about it. They have opinions, and I think KATRINA Anastasia was going to tell us that constructive criticism, yes, I'll take it in, and I really love what you do because you give people constructive criticism on very hard, challenging topics.
Yes.
And I'd love to know, how did you get started being able to share that with people? Because I really want to learn how to fix my finances, but I'm not sure I'm ready to tell people what my credit score is.
Yeah.
So how did you get started doing that and sharing and helping all of us?
Yeah, because I think there's a lot of shame around talking about money. So
Definitely. So I was at a place in my life where I was tired of asking my parents for money. And I was just tired of being broke. And I had to admit to myself that I wasn't in a financial place that I enjoyed. And through learning how money worked, I decided that I was going to document my journey. So anytime I learned something new, I would post about it. Anytime my credit score increased, I would share it. When I saved a little money, I shared it as well. And I'm the type of person where I'm very secure in myself, so I don't really care what people think. And I know that sharing my story was helping other people. The messages that I was getting, about hey, you've inspired me to check my score, you've inspired me to save more, you've inspired me to face my financial fears. That all of that stuff is more important than worrying about what other people think. And so I also have a teacher background. So my love for teaching and sharing with other people, I guess, showed through me wanting to share those things. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes. We have two very secure ladies.
two very confident ladies on
I
the
know.
couch.
I'm like,
Yes.
please. I'm just like, yes, I love this. I love this.
People love when you get on your stories and talk. The amount of engagement I get when I just get on my stories. I'm like, hey guys, this is how my day is going today. People love that. And I love when I see someone talking on their stories, I will watch it.
I will watch
true,
it
I
too.
do
That
too.
is true.
I do.
Because
into the room.
it's so rare that people get on their stories and talk.
Yeah.
And just be themselves,
Yeah.
And there's something very, like you said, authentic, I think, about watching somebody else be like, oh, wow, I'm afraid to maybe talk about where I'm at financially. But you're talking about it, and now I'm learning something, and now I feel inspired to talk to other people about it and learn more things. So I think it does take that person to be confident enough to be like, you know what, I'm going to just show my journey to show the rest of us that okay, it's not so bad. It's okay, we can talk about this stuff.
And just at one point too, because you're mentioning you don't want to, or people don't want to share certain things. Specifically with the credit score, you technically shouldn't be sharing that with anybody other than an advisor, whoever's helping you. So when I actually sit down with clients, I tell them, hey, do you know what your credit score is? You don't have to tell me, but do you know? Because it's a good idea for you to know because it's a summary of your financial habits. And then they'll say, oh, I'm so afraid to check. And I said, no one's gonna know if you don't tell them. So you don't have to share that. But for me, again, just being transparent in the journey, I was okay with sharing that. And now I would never tell somebody my score now. But when it was bad, I'm like, oh yeah, like, yeah. But then, you know, so it depends.
Interesting. That's good advice. That is good advice. Just in case anyone's now here and they're like, oh, I want to share my credit score. Like, you can if you want, but remember what Finance for the Culture said. You should probably check out Finance for the Culture. And you give so many good tips on there. So many good tips. We'd really love to hear a little bit about your story. I'm sure it will inspire people about how did you go from where you were at, $200, and now you're able to have a whole platform, you have your own business, and you help other people do the same thing.
Yeah. So the first thing is when you need help, you have to find it. Because if you just sit there in your situation, the longer you wait, the longer it'll take. Like when I sit down with people, they're getting their lives together very quickly because they have guidance. So it could be within 6 months, their debt is either half of what it used to be or completely cleared off. But if they waited or if they continue to wait, they'll never experience that progress. So I went and I went to seek out this information, and I came across a financial literacy workshop, and I went and I learned so much. I approached the facilitator and I said, hey, like, help me, help me, please. And she was a licensed advisor, so she came up with a plan for me. Of course, after the workshop, I did get a full-time job because I wasn't working at that point. And I told myself I want to maximize the income that I was making. So she put together a plan for me and said, hey, you don't have an emergency fund, let's put money aside every month to build this. Okay, you don't have life insurance, let's educate you on that and get you the right protection. Okay, your company doesn't have an RRSP for retirement, let's open up one for you so that you can start investing in that. So with the guidance and the information and really understanding how money works, learning these different concepts, I was able to shift my mindset. So that was the first thing. So before I even got the job that provided me with the income to save money, my mindset shifted because I learned how money actually worked. And when you learn how money works, beyond what fluffy stuff they tell you, you're like, oh, okay. Like the wheels start to turn. And so that motivated me to be more disciplined. So not everybody has to do this, but I went cold turkey. So I said, no Uber Eats, no shopping, and I did that for 6 months, and I ended up saving $10,000 in 5 months. So when I did that,
did y'all hear that? Wait,
Yeah,
one
wait,
more
hold on.
time. How much money did you save in 5 months?
5 months.
$10,000.
$10,000.
No Ubers.
Yeah.
No shopping.
And you'd be surprised. Listen.
I'm not surprised. I know what my bill is for Ubers.
And what did you do with all that time also? Because not only did you save money, you probably had so much time. Like, what did you do with all that time?
So I was working full time. And yeah, so no shopping, no going out. I was just focused. I was like, I need to be in a better position because if, God forbid, my parents aren't here anymore, I'm in trouble. And that was really scary for me. So that was the motivation to really just get focused and get disciplined. And then once I saved that $10,000, I was like, I'm never gonna be broke again. Like ever.
Yeah.
You know?
And what made that switch in your brain that was like, oh, okay, I hit 10,000? Was it like seeing it and being like, oh wow, I'm not gonna, if I can do this in 6 months, like I'm never gonna be broke again? Was that what it was that really switched your paradigm? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was just, I wasn't missing out on life by not going crazy with the Uber and the Uber Eats and all of that stuff. Like I was still enjoying myself. I was still hanging out with friends. I was just being more disciplined. And again, you can have balance too, because if you look at my Uber now, you know, like there's balance. Yeah, so there is balance. But at that time, I knew that I had to be very, very strict with myself. And then it was kind of like a reward. Like, oh, you saved this much? Okay, so now you can go treat yourself. Maybe you could do a big shopping haul or whatever the case is. But I needed to prove to myself that I could be consistent and save consistently for at least 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know that you actually have a way, you know, first, in order, as you said, for anybody to be able to manage their finances, you have to know about money, how it works. And you do this fun thing, you do a game that you said that you would play with us, and it's gonna test our knowledge in finances. And we're all gonna play it. So we're gonna try. We're gonna see what we know. We're gonna see what we know. We're gonna get help. And also when you find out what you don't know, I think that actually helps you to know what you do know.
Yeah.
And then you can go and get help. Like, so
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
I think also, it's like with finances, like there's a lot of shame. So it's like being honest with yourself is like that first step to be like, you know what, it's okay that it's not good now, but it can get better.
Exactly.
Did you find with being consistent with saving helped you be consistent and show up for yourself in other ways of your life? Because I know for me, when I quit or when I'm like, I'm trying to quit a habit, and I'm like, no, I'm okay, I don't want that. Then I start becoming more consistent in other parts of my life.
That happens to me too.
So I feel like saving money, I feel like you would just be like getting all your goals. You're just like accomplishing everything.
All of them.
Yeah, because you're like, now you prove to yourself that you have willpower. And
Exactly. Habits, honestly, they will overlap 1,000%.
Yes.
And to the point where now I prefer to shop seasonally. So I'll do like a big haul before summer and then a big haul before fall. And of course, yes, I will buy things here and there. But when I tell you, I used to buy down the mall. I
don't
used
go to
to
the mall
buy
anymore,
down
I'm
the
I'm banned from the mall.
Let's go to the thrift
mall.
Exactly.
It was crazy. I would get paid and the next day, no money.
Because you were
And
just
what
like,
were you
let me go.
buying?
You were just buying little outfits, just little things.
And I had no style back then, so I don't know what I was doing. I really don't. No, you know what it was? It was mostly food. It really was mostly
food will do it.
And if you think back then was expensive, try ordering a 1-2 dinner on Uber Eats now.
Yeah.
So so those habits that I developed back then, they've stuck with me now. It's been 3 years since I started my journey, and they stick with me. Like I really pause before adding things to the cart, and I really take those habits with me through or regarding non-financial related things.
Yeah, because going shopping right after is like a prize. It's like a short-term prize, but now saving, that's a long-term
Exactly.
prize or investment, right? So that's even more gratifying than that short-term, quick whatever, right?
That quick
And
satisfaction.
you really have to give yourself those 6 months to see it. Like,
that
you have to wait that out. You have to, because that's when you'll be able to say that. Like, oh, that's what happens when I wait. Like, so big gems. I really want to be just like Finance for the Culture when I grow up. Honestly, when my wallet right now,
I keep telling myself, when I
needs
grow
Finance
up.
for the Culture. So I'm gonna give one to Katrina, one to Brittany.
Okay.
And you got questions for us. Oh, and we have these lovely
Markers?
markers.
We only have 2.
Do we have to write on them?
All we have to do is draw your best hand. So this is the art activity for today. We're gonna use these to raise our hands. But I just want you to draw your hand. Draw your best hand.
Can I trace my hand?
You can't. Oh,
that's a good idea.
Arts and crafts. Everyone's so creative.
Everyone's so creative. I love it. Okay, what's my best hand? All right.
My drawing is, questionable, but I can draw mean stick people. Okay, like.
And
y'all
that's nothing
are
to.
touching my
This is
stick
really
people.
bad.
Let's see what you've done, Brittany. I think mine's gonna be worse.
Oh, yeah, that's cool though. You use like this as the arm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like I have to turn mine around.
That's
now.
actually. Did you trace your hand for that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, cool. I'm done. Okay, so I'm gonna explain the game.
Yes,
Yeah,
you explain the game.
Yeah, please.
So a big part of Finance
Look
for
at
the
nails.
Culture is making financial literacy accessible, to the culture, and the culture is honestly everybody, millennials, young adults, seasoned adults, but really dismantling the fear of finance and simplifying these topics. Because honestly, finance is really fun to talk about if you know what's going on. And so being able to make it fun to learn about these different topics is what I'm committed to. So this is finance trivia. So we're gonna do 3 finance related questions, and your job is to pretty much attempt to answer.
Okay.
Now, typically when I do this, it's whoever can get to 3 correct answers in a row first will get a prize. But today we'll just do the questions. And if
The prize is knowledge.
the prize, period. And the whole point is, if you don't know the answer to the question or you don't get it right, it's a teachable moment, right? Like you're gonna learn something today. Okay?
You gonna learn today.
You gonna
learn today.
I've learned that visual arts is not.
I was gonna say.
That
Like
is
that's why
okay.
I'm a singer.
I took it. Yours is
Pretty
good.
good.
Thanks, guys.
This is not because what had happened was I had tried to do.
Why do you have 2
thank you.
colors?
I'm going with what Brittany's. This is abstract art.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
Thank you.
I
It's an
can see- you know what?
interpretation
You
of
could
my
sell
hand.
that. Why not?
It's like my hand. It's the way that my wallet is feeling right now. Confused.
Yes, multiplying.
Just stress.
Oh, wait a minute.
See,
You're right.
there's like 3 hands.
I like how. Okay.
Yes.
Because that's how much
I'm
money I'm
married.
about to have.
Exactly.
I'm gonna learn
Exactly.
so much right now and fix up.
Did you draw a ring?
I tried to.
That's a big rock.
Yep. That's
Exactly.
a ring. That's
And
a
it costs
ring.
money.
I changed mine
Costs
to a
money.
good sign.
Have.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Look at it.
that's
Beautiful.
Oh, that is
See,
cute.
that was original. That was okay. I'm gonna tell
I
the
actually
truth
kind
now.
of got that
Yeah.
inspo.
She's like, I stole your idea
I saw
actually
your
and did it
blog
better.
And I was like, I think that's a peace sign.
That, thank you for seeing that. That's actually what it was.
She's like, that was a great idea. So
Okay.
I'm gonna do it better.
I promise I can draw better than this. I don't know what's happening today. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
And one more note too. I find when I do this game activity that people actually know more than they think.
Okay.
Thank you
And
for that.
People doubt themselves a lot. No, for real. Like they'll be like, "Oh, I don't know," and I'm like, "Take a guess," and they actually get it. So
Okay.
that's another thing that we have to stop doing. We have to stop second guessing ourselves when we really believe we know something. Just share it. And if anybody shames you for not knowing or whatever the
Thinking
case
you
is,
know.
that's on them. It's not a reflection of you. So we do have to collectively get better at not being afraid to express.
That's a great point. It
Yeah.
just reminds me of what you were saying, Katrina, how you operate when you walk into a room. Like
Yes.
you feel that you are meant to be there. You're here to add value as well.
You
like
don't gotta
you're not,
prove yourself
yeah, you're
to
not running.
anybody.
I love
Exactly.
that. I love that.
Yes.
So let's stop second guessing ourselves. Express
Yes.
yourself.
Exactly. Okay, so we're gonna do, I guess we'll do
The
3
colors are so
questions.
pretty.
Okay.
So you're just gonna pick,
Oh,
We
fun.
each pick one.
yeah. Well, we'll do one at a time.
Okay.
So
Am I looking at it?
if you can read my writing,
I can read it. Am I
Okay.
saying it out loud right
yes.
now? What is an RRSP? It's the retirement savings account, right?
Okay.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Wait, was I supposed to answer?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, registered retirement savings plan.
Plan.
Okay.
Is the acronym.
Okay, so
Nice.
it's not the account. It's the plan?
It's an account, but it's called a plan.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And do you know? I mean, it's in the name, but what really is the purpose of a registered retirement savings plan? Anyone can answer.
I think I know.
Okay.
The point is for you to be able to save money, a little bit of money off of every paycheck or however your increments are. Those increments will add up so that when you are ready to retire, you will have this pool of money. However, at least from what I've now seen, I don't think it's meant to like for you to never work again. Like you do need to have other things in place, but it's a pool of money that you can use that you've saved up over the years from working.
Yes.
I think.
You
Do
got
they
it.
usually have compounding interest on them or no?
Yes, your money is invested.
Okay.
Oh yes, and you build money like interest.
I think I have one of those, but I have no idea. I should, I think.
You should
Maybe.
check.
I used to have one and I
Yes.
did clear it out.
She's like, I'm retired.
I'm telling you this.
I feel that.
I was like, I need to buy some.
I need to buy things.
Oh, yeah.
So I
it's
did
okay.
clear it out, like years ago, and I never put it back on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So one thing I will say for anybody who's working as well, your employer may offer an RSP where they'll match your contribution. So if you're investing $25 per month, they may match that. Maybe it's 1%, 2%, or the exact dollar amount, and that way you get to invest more with less money in a way. And so you do want to take advantage of things like that. And also too, it's suggested that people who are making a lot of money invest in the RSP because it is tax deductible. So your contributions will reduce your income rather.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
See,
I need to
that's
get
what
on
I've
those.
been learning about with being like an
Yeah.
entrepreneur or being
Yeah.
self-employed. You can utilize your RSP in
Oh, so
certain ways.
so would that help with actually what Brittany's just saying? Like if you are an entrepreneur, you're performing artist, like all of us here, will getting an RSP help you to lower your tax bracket? Since sometimes you don't pay the amount of taxes that everybody else pays, because you usually get
Regularly.
gigs and like it's like flat rates and stuff like that.
So it really depends. And everything that I do is really based on individuals. So
Yes.
I analyze their situation and suggest solutions based on their situation. So depending on your income, you're either gonna utilize and maximize the tax-free savings account, or you will utilize or maximize the RSP. So if you're not making that much money, let's say honestly the average is like maybe 40,000, 50,000 or less, you may want to utilize the tax-free savings account because chances are you are dipping into your money and savings often, and with the RSP you don't really have that luxury, right? So, and if you're making, usually it's like 60,000 or more, you would want to utilize the RSP to take advantage of reducing your income. So to give a blanket statement and say entrepreneurs should be investing in the RSP, it really, really, really depends. But you definitely want to be utilizing anything that is tax-free. So anything that allows your money to be sheltered from taxes. Anybody who knows a little bit about money knows that taxes are the biggest enemy. So we want to reduce, not avoid. We're not pulling a Lauryn Hill, but we want to reduce.
Okay,
We
no,
want to reduce, not avoid, because they will come after you, but
will, though.
reduce your taxes, okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because even Lauren, as you know,
Yeah.
Even
that's a big
There's
Yeah.
a whole website of celebrities who
are
got into a
tax
little
evasion.
tax trouble. So if you ever want to look that up and
Yeah.
see what you don't want to do,
yeah. I feel
Google,
like, didn't that happen to like
Google.
Justin Bieber? Like,
so many of them because
So
of it's
many.
like
Like, took his
exactly
house?
what, that's why I asked that question
Yeah.
because he gets so much invoices and like
Yeah.
things that and then there's like rules. There are some tax rules that if you don't make a certain amount of money in these like gigs and stuff like that or like contracted work, then you don't have to claim it as taxes. But if you're not good at accounting for all this
Yeah.
money, by the time
you're an accountant,
you
but
get
also
100,000 you didn't even realize, and then
Yep.
but the tax person does know
exactly,
that you got that money.
And I'm not a tax professional, but there's many out there. So if anyone watching needs somebody, I have many resources.
I'm gonna be calling you.
Please
Shay.
don't
yeah, definitely will be.
don't neglect your taxes, okay? I filed my taxes for the first time ever 2 years ago. Now, mind you, I didn't have to owe because all those times I was, not making that much income in
Anyways,
school, all of that
yes,
stuff.
yeah.
And then checks that came in were not, I was like, this is what was waiting for me.
I know.
But don't, because imagine having to go back and find all
These things.
receipts and notice of assessments and all that stuff. Just stay organized. If you're avoiding your taxes, please get up to date because it's just going to be harder the longer you wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, all my fellow actors, go do it.
Go
I know
do
you're,
it.
I know you're
Independent
lifting on it.
contractors, performing artists, get out there,
Yeah.
go do your taxes.
Well, yeah, actually, for artists and stuff, you can You can write off clothing, you can write off hair appointments, you can write off all these things.
Pretty much everything.
Pretty much everything, like your shoes, like if you're gonna wear them on stage and stuff, it's crazy. I remember like
rent, because you're required to do things in your home sometimes for taping and all these things.
There's so much, there's a whole list. I remember someone was telling me about it and I was like,
Uber rides.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uber rides to, yeah, that's crazy.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes. So if anything, get on
it.
Yes.
Get on it.
What else do we have to get on?
next
Yes,
question.
I want
This is
both of
fun,
you
actually.
to-
I do so far.
Okay.
And by the way, anybody can attempt to answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the biggest expense for an average person? Biggest expense? Food?
I think food too. I was gonna say food.
Rent.
Shelter?
Rent.
Yeah.
Okay. Or
Especially in
shelter.
Toronto.
Yeah.
My Lord.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I guess
Did you
those
hear
were
about the story of the landlord who raised the rent to $9,500 because
What?
Yeah, the tenants complained of the rent increase, and I'm like, okay, no, that's illegal. That has to be
$9,500 a
definitely
month.
illegal.
They used to have this limit and then someone
Yeah.
took it off.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like,
god.
why are they taking it off?
It doesn't make sense. Like, why are you taking
And
it
that's why
off? Do
people are
this.
leaving. Like literally, people are coming to me being like, I don't think I'm trying to buy property in the U.S. And I'm like, do you?
Yeah.
Do
everyone's
you?
going to Montreal.
Because yeah,
rent
Montreal
is really
too.
affordable out there.
And do you have any advice or tips for folks
Housing.
who are, like when it comes to housing and
Moving
trying to
out,
maintain
trying
your
to-
finances?
Yeah.
So, one thing I will say, one thing I've noticed, and I actually just talked to someone the other day, especially with the entrepreneurs and the aspiring entrepreneurs, if you have the opportunity and ability to keep working your 9 to 5 while building your business, like don't quit prematurely. Honestly, like you get a couple dollars, don't let that make you be like, F this job, because it may not be consistent and now you're going into debt because you aren't making enough money to take care of your expenses. So I would milk the 9 to 5 as much as you can. Like for me, my last 9 to 5, I would have stayed there. I would have still been there if I didn't get let go. Like they let go our entire team of 5 salespeople. I would have still, because I told myself I want to work here for 5 years, stack up, and then move on, even though I'd started my business.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I would suggest. I know, like, I want to encourage you to bet on yourself for sure, definitely, but you also want to make sure that you're not leaving your job prematurely. So if you don't have no emergency fund, you know, if you still need some time to pay off debt, I would highly suggest you stick it out and do that, because otherwise the debt will pile up very, very quickly if you cannot afford your expenses with an inconsistent income. Yeah.
And honestly, you know, again, it even ties back to your story that sometimes thinking about it right now, like staying in a job that you might not love for a certain amount of time, like, no, I can't do it. But then hearing your story of, hey, I like gave up everything I loved for 6 months, and then I was able to do everything I love for the rest of my life. Like, I think, we have to really look at that. That's like a very big point that you said about not just dropping everything because, you know, you made, I don't know, you got an agent or something like that, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm done with like 9 to 5. So I love that advice. I love that advice.
Yeah, and I love sharing, like, obviously I don't name the names of these people, but I love sharing real life examples, because I think people really need to understand. I just had a meeting with someone yesterday. She's working a 9 to 5. It was great. Left to start her business, is like has a pre-construction being built, so invested in real estate. And I'm thinking, like, so where the mortgage money coming from? Because you don't, you know, she's saying that she's not making a lot of money right now. And I was like, if you had to go back to a 9 to 5 to make sure that you had your mortgage payments, would you? And she was just like, yeah, 1000%. I'm like, okay, because it's looking like you might have to do that. Like, I want you to continue fighting for your business, but right now, you don't have time to see how it goes. You need this money for closing. You are gonna have to have this mortgage money soon. So that's a situation where you know, someone bet on themselves, and that's amazing. I'm proud of them. But you have a whole property that is kind of in limbo.
It's true. And I think that goes, I must say that, like, you know, people learn things from the internet. They might watch your videos and then they just apply it to their life. But as you said, everybody's financial journey is so individual. We would have to like really dive into yours to know if quitting your job is the best move. Like, because then I find out that you have a whole house closing. No, for you, it's not a good idea.
Exactly.
But for, you know, someone else, it might be amazing. So I love that advice. And I have a question, or we have one more question.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's mine.
For you.
It's mine.
Yes.
What colors were chosen? Okay, let's go with green.
Yeah, we actually didn't pick green yet.
Here we go, ladies. Oh, this is a good one. I think, because I don't think I know all the answers to this. What negatively impacts your credit score? What are the things that impact negatively your credit score?
Missing your payment?
Yeah, no.
Yes, that's a huge one. I know that one. I see those dings if any payments get missed.
Yeah. Missing payments.
Wait,
affects your. Wait, what was the question? Affects it negatively?
Yeah,
Yeah.
negatively.
Negatively. Oh.
Yeah.
So I'll say, so that's the biggest thing, missing a payment. There's something else that's equally as horrendous and that a lot of people actually don't know about.
Not
so what do
paying
you
it
think?
fully? Not paying your bill fully? Like paying the minimum payment?
Oh, true.
That's also,
Like financing something? Missing a payment on something you're financing?
not quite.
No?
Hey, dinner. I'll give you one more guess.
Yeah. Okay, I would say.
She was ready for the answer.
I know. I'm like, I better know this. What would also negatively impact your score?
Those like pay later things like on Fashion Nova.
So that is
Installments?
also,
Those installment things.
What? They have that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's called like Klarna and stuff.
listen.
No, I'm not going.
And you
there.
can pay in
I'm not going there.
installments for online
know.
things.
Oh, that's
I
really-
always
heard
said,
that's really
if
bad.
if you can't, like a $30 shirt, like maybe.
Thank you. I don't think you should get it.
Also-
Like maybe not. Maybe just
Or
don't
using a
get
credit
it.
card to buy something to make installments on your credit
Yes.
card is
No,
pretty.
no, no,
okay,
We need
is
to
it that?
reassess.
Like using a credit card to pay a credit card, like doing that roundabout thing.
Not quite. So
Okay.
it's the utilization rate. So specifically with a credit card, you should only use 30% of your limit. So if you have a $6,000 limit, you can only use $1,800. If you use more, that's fine, but your credit score is going to be negatively affected, and most
can
people
only-
actually
Yeah.
don't
You should be
know
using
that.
30%.
or less.
And I
I use my
always
credit card for everything.
That's what.
So this is the thing. Listen, most people, they rack up their credit card bill.
Yes.
The next day
I
they
am
pay it
people.
off, and they're
I am
like,
all of those people.
but no, if you notice your score is not moving, it's because your utilization rate is too high. You need to get it down. And why they made that rule, I don't know.
That doesn't make any
so you're
sense.
Yeah, so it's like
doesn't.
if I have a credit card, it's $1,000.
Yeah.
I should only be using $300.
And even if I use the 1,000 and I pay it off, like we all think, oh, if you pay it
Yeah.
off every month, that's still your utilization. You get
Yep.
a ding. Wow.
So most people who come to me and say my score isn't moving, da 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 da, I say, okay, what's your utilization rate? They're maxing their credit card every month.
Well, yeah, because
That's what I thought you were supposed to
honestly, I really thought like you should use it for everything, like you said. Then
use
pay it off.
Surprise!
They're lying to me.
Yeah, but listen, but this is the thing, right? You get a credit card and nobody gives you a crash course on
Nobody.
how to
They
use
don't.
it.
Because
I
they
had a
want
credit
you to
card
be
when I
in
was
debt.
like
Exactly.
17.
They want you to be in debt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, listen, obviously results aren't guaranteed, but if you get that utilization rate down and you make multiple payments per month, it doesn't take a lot to increase your score.
That I have noticed.
It really doesn't.
That I have noticed.
The consistency, and unfortunately, like if you know, like some islands don't even have credit.
Yeah.
Like this is a system that was created
Code.
to
Destroy
bring us
us.
if we
Yeah.
don't understand how it works.
Yeah.
But if you understand how it works, you can really utilize debt to build wealth faster. Like my credit score was 476. I was making my little one payment per month and my score was barely moving. So I was like, hey, advisor,
Do you make your payments on a specific date?
so before the due date.
Well, I heard that like there's a way to okay.
Getting that, get into that, okay? So
We spilling tea.
So making the one payment per month, my score was going up like 2 points. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
And then she said, if you make multiple payments per month, it will increase faster. So I started making 2 payments per month. Now again, results aren't guaranteed, but my score went up over 300 points in about 6 months.
Wow.
Okay.
With just doing 2 a month.
And now I make 3. Sometimes I'll do 3.
Yeah,
That's
I
even
do
better.
like
that.
I usually
every
just pay
week.
everything right away.
Yeah, so I don't know. They love to see it split up.
They like to see you,
whatever
like, just working at it.
the math is. But I
good
tell
to
my
know.
clients that, and their scores increase a lot faster. So that's the little
Wow,
sauce,
that's a
little
big
tea.
gem.
That is a big jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
didn't know that.
biggest thing though is the utilization rate, because you're never gonna get an email that says, "Hey." If you
Slow
check,
down.
if you check your score though, you know, I use Borwell, but if you check your
use that
score,
too.
it will say like, "Hey, utilization rate is this. You might want to bring it down." But when it comes to the education piece from these institutions, they're not going to tell you that. So a lot of people just don't know what they're doing with credit and debt. But once you learn, you'll never forget. So
That was
hey,
hard.
Yeah, come on.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I love that. And
period. Maybe I should be a rapper.
I think so.
That's the Instagram
I
clip
know.
right there.
Find the culture.
That's a tidbit. Yeah.
Won't let none of these vultures come in. Okay, we're done. All right, but that's a great
Yes.
place to
Yeah.
kind of wrap up our conversation today, because we've run out of time. This is how it goes
Unfortunately.
sometimes, you know? But one thing
So
I
many
want to ask
gems.
everyone before Katrina Anastasia hits the stage again with
Yes.
one more song that I really like, and it's actually called Tell Me What You Like. But I want to know from each one of you, final word, what does financial freedom look like to you? And this is so we can manifest it. I
said
hope.
if you-
Yeah, I
One
like
word?
this. I like
You
this.
could- like a phrase, like
phrase?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Financial
What does financial freedom look like to me? Being able to support myself and my loved ones with ease. Yeah.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. I would say being in control of my financial decisions, but also like everything starts in the mind. So you can literally have no money, but if you have a money mindset, you will create money opportunities. But just because you have money does not mean you're able to use it properly. So mastering my money mindset will grant me financial freedom. Yeah.
This is why she's the guru, y'all. What about for you, Katrina?
Financial freedom would be, being able to live comfortably for myself and help my loved ones, but also be able to help people in need who maybe I don't even know. But being able to be like, you know, maybe there's a crazy natural storm and somewhere in the world, and me being able to be like, I can afford to give this, you know, being able to give to those I don't even know, I think would be financial freedom.
I love that. I love that. For me, financial freedom is definitely the combination of what you all have said. I will also add to that, I would love, financial freedom to me would be able to set up generational wealth. So if I'm able to leave something behind and that my kids will not have to struggle, and they won't have to do what my parents did and all of that. Like if I could break those generational curses and, you know, buy my mama a house and all that, like I would absolutely feel that I've become financially free. So let's manifest that,
Yes,
ladies.
we affirm all of that for all of us.
Yes, we affirm. And so now we are going to get into an amazing performance. You already heard her once. She's back again to hit the stage with her smash hit, Tell Me What You Like, or TMWYL, if you're listening on the radio. Katrina Anastasia, y'all. We'll see you next time on Our Crib Uncut.
Yes.
All right. Check. Hello. All right. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
what you like, baby. Won't you give me what I want? Give me what you want. Tell me what you like, baby. Won't you give me what I want? Give me what you want. Tell me what you like, baby. Won't you give me what I want? Give me what you want. Tell me what you like, baby. Won't you tell me what you like? Tell me what you like. Tell me what you like in the morning when it's colder. I turn my head and flip over. Tell me what you want when you're tired of feeling sober. You take my glass, it flows over. Tell me all your lies, just your head on my shoulder. Know that I'll be here to hold you. One too many times, used to strike, now it's over. You're out of luck, no more clover. Seems like you're missing me, even though I told you no more. Dreams of what we could have been. Don't you try to step onto my show. Moon is full and the tides are high. Make it flooded with emotions. You better get your floaties on, cause you're treading deeper in my ocean. So tell me what you like, baby. Won't you give me what I want? Give me what you want. Tell me what you like, baby. Won't you give me what I want? Give me what you want. Tell me what you like, baby. Won't you give me what I want? Give me what you want. Tell me what you like, baby. Won't you tell me what you like? Tell me what you like. Tell me what you like. I can tell you what I want. Yeah, see you like the front, so I'll put you in the back. All you gotta do is fun. Don't care who you're stepping on. You better wipe your feet when you get home. Some mess that you make, clean it up all by yourself, and don't you dare call me a maid. Matter of fact, don't call it all. You want me to be a savior, to catch you when you fall my phone, so don't me catch you later. Seems like you're missing me, even though I told you no more. Dreams of what we could have been. Don't you try to step onto my show. Moon is full and the tides are high. Make it flooded with emotions. You better get your floaties on, cause you're treading deeper in my ocean. So tell me what you like, baby. Won't you give me what I want? Give me what you want. Tell me what you like, baby. Won't you give me what I want? Give me what you want. Tell me what you like, baby. Won't you give me what I want? Give me what you want. Tell me what you like, baby. Won't you tell me what you like? Tell me what you like, yeah. Won't you tell me? Oh, won't you, baby? Won't you tell me? Oh, tell me what you want from me. Thank you. Woo. That's a wrap. You're naive and stubborn. I always ran from my emotions. Ooh, we don't need to figure it out this time. We just go be loco, no FOMO. Moving slower than we're used to. Time with no resistance puts no pressure on existence. So what do you say? Will you meet me in 10 by the valley? Tell me you give everything that you own just to have me. I know that I'd never do it alone. If you're ready, so say what you want, but I know how you feel. Maybe we'll get lost in our own will. No map the way I feel. Simply I know I chill. Right, left, you spin the wheel and get lost in our discretion. Know that we're still direction. Together is a blessing. Time with no resistance, puts no pressure on existence. What do you say? Will you meet me in 10 by the valley? Tell me you give everything that you own just to have me. I know that I'd never do it alone. If you're ready, so say what you want. Okay. But I know how you feel.
Yeah, okay.
Baby,
Well, 10, send the addy, started hopping out the caddy, play cool, not too flashy. It was really nice to meet you. Reminisce about your features time to time when I'm dreaming life. Learn me up some lessons, baby, you my favorite teacher. Pull up in that black beam, speeding down the valley. Let's get lost on this journey, what's the point in looking back? Time is the currency with this flame on our ass. You add into the fire, you know I make the flame last a little longer. burn a little slower. Life is usually a movie like we in a stop motion. I go loco in that ocean, girl, I love that local.